Good morning, everyone. Today, Ruby and myself are talking about the buyer's journey. So mapping the buyer's journey is super duper valuable and important. You want to know how your customers want to buy. And trouble is, I've said it before, they don't always know how they want to buy, especially in larger organizations. It's a much more challenging environment. They don't know who signs the check, who orders the PO, so like steps, like tactical steps. So in this context, the buyer's journey should be something that you spend a good amount of time mapping and understanding, right? Like, so for your purposes, it's what are the visions and opinions of your buyer that they're looking to make a purchase with. So for you, how do they actually go about understanding your products and services? What is their research model? How much word of mouth, referral, all that kind of stuff comes into the equation? How does that happen? Can you be in places where they make some of those connections and communications? So going back to conversations about things like communities, a lot of buyers are trying to make peer discussions happen so that they can define who the right vendor is. So maybe they'll do that via email or over a beer somewhere, or maybe they'll do that in a Slack channel, or maybe they'll do that in a Discord channel or on Reddit or in LinkedIn or wherever. And so you kind of just want to know the context of that. And the context for our purposes is, how do they move through a process? How do they understand who you are? Are they aware of you? Do they know you exist? That's kind of important. Quick step B is, how do they evaluate you versus somebody else? What is that competitive landscape? You want to know what's your value in all of that? Is it price? Is it quality? Is it availability? What is it? How does that fit? And then how do they convert? On what basis? What structures? What information? Is it price only? What is it? And then you can make a determination as to how they're going to go through that process with you as sort of the sherpa, the guide. Because if they're an opportunity for you, you want to help them do that. You don't want them to do that on their own. They kind of want to do that on their own. And let's be very clear. That's a thing. You know, not being sold to is very interesting these days. So how do they come to those conclusions? And sometimes it is your guidance that will help them come to those conclusions. So in the middle of your funnel, when you've got the opportunity identified, what do you do to support and help them? Are you, pestering them for a signature? Or are you saying, hey, we just put out a new case study. Here's an interesting way of looking at the problem you're trying to solve. Interesting. Here's a case study from another firm that we're not talking about that's very interesting, that you should understand as you're making your decision. Interesting. So like, these are the concepts of, it's not good customer service on its own. Kind of is, but not really. It's what do we do in terms of helping our customer go through their buying journey? What do they need from us to make that a better conversation? How will we win deals by doing that smartly? So today, map your buyer journey. Know what they want. Know how they want it. Know how they want to be catered to. Know how they want to understand things. They don't necessarily know how to buy. They just know that they want to buy. And when they're a high intent buyer, you need to figure that out, and you need to figure that out with regularity and scale it. So today, map that buyer journey, be there for your customer when they need you, guide them, be that sherpa that they need through the process, and then help them close. All right, Ruby, off to the next day. Walking and talking with Ruby.